Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Osset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. So guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to someone else who may like it as well. So I was talking to a young lady who likes an Aquarius at her job. This young lady is a Pisces, and she's really nice. And she said to me that she wants me to do a reading and a what is it called? Compatibility chart on her and this Aquarius that she likes at her job. And she said to me, what do I need, to get this information? And I said, well, to do the reading, I don't need anything but their first name, period. Sometimes a date of birth can be helpful, but usually I can get the vibration with just their first name. And she said, what about the natal chart? She wants me to do a comparison of their two natal charts. So I told her for that, I need the person's date of birth, time of birth, and place of birth, because your chart is very specific to all of those three things. If somebody else is born at the same time and the same place as you, but there's a little bit of difference, such as maybe a couple of minutes, it could change the entire chart. Location can change the chart. If they're born in Chicago and you're born in Philadelphia, that's going to change the chart. Every little thing changes the degrees that are on the chart. So I told her she had to get this person's information. So she was saying to me that she doesn't really know them like that. So she's like, well, how do I get the information? And she was like, he's an Aquarius. So if I ask him for his name and, date of birth and place of birth and time of birth, will that be, strange? Like, will he think I'm a weirdo or a stalker or, something like that if I say, hey, my friend does charts and I want her to see our compatibility before we start dating? Because they've been talking about going out and she's been, not too certain, and, she likes him and everything, but she's just not sure if their personalities will match. So that's why she wants this work done. And she asked me, as an Aquarius, would an Aquarius find it weird if you asked for that type of information? And I told her, it really depends on the Aquarius. A lot of Aquarius are into this kind of thing. A lot of Aquarius are into astrology. We're into spirituality, readings, things like that. A lot of us are into that, but not all of us. So it really depends on two things. The first thing it depends on is the Aquarius open-minded in that way? Most Aquarius are open-minded free spirits, but if they have some influence coming from, let's say, their moon sign or their rising sign, like for instance, maybe let's say they had a Capricorn moon and they were a little bit more rigid in certain areas, all that Saturn, could cause a problem. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. So it just depends on the kind of person they are. So do they talk about spirituality? For instance, do they have crystals on their desk? That's a very good sign that a person might be open to this kind of thing. When you have conversations about spirituality, is this person extremely religious in a particular direction, like they're very Christian or they're very Muslim or they're something else, or are they more open-minded to spirit and spirituality? That's the question you want to ask yourself, and you should figure that out from your conversations. And if you're not certain, ask them. Just ask them. I would start off the conversation like that. So like, are you into astrology, or, have you ever, read anything on the law of attraction? You can kind of open it by just making it an open-ended question, asking them what are they into, And if they're into it, then they probably won't mind. He wants you to date him, so he might not mind it. Now, the only way this could be a problem, and I've seen this with some people, I've seen this happen several times when somebody came to me to read somebody. Some people know they're hiding shit. And if they believe in readings and things like that, then they might not want you to do it because they don't want you to see what they're hiding. You see? And the ones that don't believe in it might think it's just total BS and not even care, you know? So it depends on, does he believe in these kinds of things? Is he open to these kinds of things? And the last thing is, does he see a future with you? An Aquarius who wants to get to know you, who's open to pursuing you, which it sounds like he is, if they're open-minded to this kind of thing, will see it as a good thing. If they don't have anything to hide, they might see it as a great thing, you know? I had someone come to me before and tell me that she was doing a chart on me. This is before I even knew how to do charts. And I didn't take offense to it or think it was weird or anything. I thought it was interesting. I was like, oh, okay, well, tell me what you find. And she found that we weren't compatible, and we damn sure wasn't. We damn sure wasn't. But I thought it was very interesting, you know, anyway. And we did talk about it, and she told me about it. And she told me about it before she did it. So I never thought it was strange, but I've always been open-minded in that way. I started reading about astrology, a little something, something, all the way back to a young girl. I told you guys my mom gave me a belt that said Aquarius and a comb that said Aquarius, and I was proud to be an Aquarius, you know? So I've known about it ever since I was a little girl. So when she said to me, oh, I want to do our charts, I wasn't opposed to it, and I didn't have anything to hide. I was interested to see what it turned up. So it all depends on the kind of person this is. And you can get that information by just asking him a few questions like the ones that I stated. And if he's real funny acting about it and real suspicious about it, it depends, because he could be that way, like I said, if it's something he doesn't believe in or he doesn't see in a positive light. Some people see these kinds of things as being negative because they've grown up in certain traditions where this was devil worship, you know? So that a person like that might be afraid of it. So you have to ask those kinds of questions. It's going to be each one on the one. But most Aquarius, unless they have something to hide, are usually okay with something like that. But I would go ahead and do some feelers before I ask the question. If I threw out some feelers and he was vehemently against it, then I would kind of pull that energy back. But if he was like, oh yeah, sure, that sounds like a fun idea, let me know what happens, then I will go ahead and just, you know, be like, okay, well, give me your date of birth, and I will write it down and go for it, you know? But everybody is going to be different with that kind of energy, even with any sun sign, because I've seen people in sun signs that are not usually into spirituality be open. I remember one young lady brought her boyfriend to me for a reading. He was not into this kind of thing. His mother was a minister. You know, this is not something that he normally would have done, but he really liked his girlfriend. He really wanted to keep his girlfriend, and they were having some really intense emotional problems. So she was like, look, if you want to stay with me, we need to go see somebody, and this is who I trust. This is where we're going. And they came to me, and he came, and he participated, and we talked, and I gave him some meditations to do, and they're still together now. You know, it wasn't something that he was, you know, necessarily open to doing or would have thought of on his own, but because it could save his relationship, he went ahead and did it. So everybody's going to be different with this kind of vibration. I have ministers that come to me and get readings, Christian ministers that come to me and get readings, you know? And I don't think they're really supposed to, because it's supposed to be devil worship, but they have enough common sense to know I don't worship the devil. They got enough common sense to know that there's nothing wrong with it. So they'll come to me and they just don't tell nobody, you know? They don't tell anybody who would be judgmental, you know? So it's private. It's a very private kind of thing. And I would also make sure that he knew that, you know, like if we do this, you know, this is our business, you know, it's not going to be spread, not going to tell nobody, you know, that kind of thing. I think a lot of people wonder about that. I remember this one guy was telling me, and he was doing astrology and numerology. And this is when he first started. So he was practicing and asking different people when he met them information about their name, their birthday, blah, blah, blah. And he said one guy, he asked his information and he did the guy's numerology chart. He came and gave the information to the guy. And he said the guy freaked out. He ripped the paper out his hand and was like, I don't want nobody knowing that much about me, basically is what he said. And he said the guy never, like he was treating him like he was a wizard or something. And all he did was his numerology. So some people are really funny. Everybody's going to be different with this. So put out some feelers, see how he feels about it, and approach cautiously. If he's down, holla at me. And we'll see if you guys are compatible. Okay? All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. So if you want a reading or if you want a chart done, please email me for an appointment. Likewise, if you would like to get in touch with me on social media, I'm on everything. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I guess that's not even everything, but I'm on a lot of things, put it like that. So underneath here will be all of my information. All right, guys, if you have to ask someone, you might as well ask an Aquarius. So come back soon. See you later.